in our waste, is there something which can be reused? If not, whether the waste can be recycled. Before going to incineration, it has to be dried because these are all wet waste which is there. All the waste gets ultimately converted into fertilizer, which we call it as vermicompost if we are using earthworms here. Some of the waste, it is collected and then segregated. So either of them can happen. Hello my dear students, welcome back to session 5 on the chapter Environmental Pollution. Today we shall study about the solid waste management. As we know, there is a rapid increase in population which is happening, which is in turn leading to lot of waste generation. And all the solid waste which is generated, normally what is done? It is taken up and it is dumped in the open dump yards or the landfills. This is creating a lot of nuisance to the public health or the environment as well. So, lot of public health is getting spoiled because of such dump yards, and also the environment degradation, the soil pollution, water pollution, air pollution, different things are happening because of this solid waste what we are throwing away. Okay, so how exactly it is affecting us? What are the different measures we can take so that we can manage this solid waste is what we are going to study today. So first, what are the three different types of solid waste which we produce? There are three ways, that is the urban or the municipal waste, which you can see that is going from our houses, that is from the urban area, or any waste which early in the morning the municipal comes, the vehicle comes, collects it from our house and it goes off, that is called as the urban or the municipal waste. Next is the industrial waste. You can see the waste which is coming out from the industries, the solid waste which is coming out, that is called as the industrial waste. And the third type is the hazardous waste, that can be some radioactive substances which is coming from nuclear power plants or nuclear reactors or from the industries. Okay, so these are the three different types of the solid waste. Next, we are learning about the sources of the urban waste. So the sources of urban waste are of four types. First one is the domestic waste, then we have the commercial waste. Domestic waste is any waste which is coming from our homes. We call it as domestic waste. It can be newspaper, food waste, bottles, any scrap waste, papers which we are throwing away, which is coming from our homes, we call it as domestic waste. Second type is the commercial waste, that is coming from any commercial area, like it can be shops, markets, institutions, different hotels, offices, etc. It can have cans, waste, paper, packaging material, etc., which is coming from a commercial space. Okay, the next type is the construction waste. It is the waste which is coming from the construction site. Okay, it can have wood, cement, concrete, debris, etc. Okay, the last type is the biomedical waste. These are the waste which is coming from the hospitals, okay, or any medical institutions which has lot of such material like syringes, some organic waste. It can have a lot of infectious disease causing material or waste also comes under the biomedical waste. Okay, now classification of urban waste can be again of two types, that is biodegradable waste and the non-biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste is that which can be degraded by microorganism like food, vegetable, tea leaves, dry leaves, etc. Here you can see these are all biodegradable waste. It can be degraded by the microorganism, by the decomposers, and it can be going into or converted into compost, or it can be converted into the nutrients which can go back into the soil. But non-biodegradable waste, this cannot be degraded by microorganism. It can be plastic bags, scrap materials, glass bottles, etc. Now further, what is the source of industrial waste, we will see. So we learnt about the source of urban waste and also the classification of urban waste. Second type of solid waste is industrial waste, and their source is, it can be any industry, it can be chemical industry, it can be metal industry. Any waste which is coming, solid waste which is coming from industry, we call it as industrial waste. From nuclear power plants, we can have radioactive material. From thermal power plants, we can have fly ash. From chemical industries, large quantity of hazardous and toxic materials can come out. The other industries like packaging material, rubbish, organic waste, acids, alkali, scrap metals, rubber, plastic, paper, glass, wood, oil, etc. All of these are the sources of industrial waste. Next is about the steps involved in the solid waste management. First, the waste is generated. Then the waste handling, separation, storage and processing at the source has to happen. Now, for example, from the domestic waste, it has to be segregated like the biodegradable one, the non-biodegradable one. So, the segregation can happen. Then once the segregation we have done, we give it to the collection point. So, it has to be collected. Then it has to be transferred and transport, or the segregation and processing and transformation can happen later also. Now, for example, domestic waste we segregate and we give it for the collection point. Some of the waste it is collected and then segregated. So either of them can happen. Totally we have to collect the waste, we have to segregate them, and we have to see whether we can recycle them or it will go into for disposal. Okay, or how it can be, the ones which can be recycled, whether it is biodegradable one or whether it is non-biodegradable one, all such segregation should happen. So these are the main steps in solid waste management. So we'll see here the discarding the waste. We can have two steps here, reduce and reuse. Okay, so reduce, if usage of raw material is reduced in industries or what we are using at homes, the generation of waste also can get reduced. So we have to try to reduce the waste what we are throwing away. Okay, so that is one approach we can have. Second is the reuse, that is refillable containers that are discarded after use can be reused. Rubber rings can be made from discarded cycle tubes, and this reduces waste generation and during the manufacture of rubber bands. So how can we reuse certain things? Okay, as it is told here, the cycle tubes can be reused to make rubber bands. There are containers which can be reused again. Glass bottles can be collected and it can be reused or it can be recycled again. Okay, there are certain things which can be reused. Certain things has to be recycled. That is, recycling is reprocessing of the discarded material into new useful product. For example, old aluminum cans and glass bottles are melted and recasted into new cans and bottles. As I told you, the glass bottles which are there, it can be remelted, remolded to give new glass bottles. So that is called as recycling. Reusing means you're not doing any change. What is discarded, you're trying to use elsewhere. Okay, so these are the 3 R's, that is reduce, reuse and recycle. The 3 R's we call it as, that help to save money, energy, raw material, and also helps to reduce pollution. So it is very important. First we think about how to reduce the waste. If we can't reduce the waste, in our waste, is there something which can be reused? If not, whether the waste can be recycled. So these are the 3 approaches which we have to give for solid waste management. Next is about discarding waste. Now we cannot do all of this. We cannot reduce, we could not reuse, we could not recycle also. Then where are we going to dispose them? The disposal can be in 3 ways. It can go into the landfills, or it can be incinerated, or it can be undergoing composting, depending on what is the waste which we are putting there. Okay, so first thing is about the landfill. You can see there are some areas in which all the waste from our homes are gone and it is dumped, isn't it? They are called as the landfills. So solid waste are placed in the sanitary landfill in which alternate layers of 80 centimeters thick refuse is covered with selected earth fill of 20 centimeter thickness. So what they do in the landfills is, first one layer of the waste is put, that is almost 80 centimeters thick, and above that the mud or soil is put, and this layers happens in alternating with 80 centimeter and 20 centimeter thickness. After 2 to 3 years, solid waste volume shrinks by 25 to 30%, and the land is used for parks, roads, small buildings, etc. So this is one way of using the landfills. This is the most common and the cheapest method of waste disposal and mostly employed in Indian cities. So we are using the concept of landfills. Okay. Next is the advantages of using landfills. One is it is simple and economical. Segregation of waste is not required. Landfill areas can be reclaimed and used for other purposes. Convert low-lying marshy wastelands into useful area. It has got marshy land, okay, where nothing can be built. Use that as landfills where it gets, converted into a different kind of area once you have used it as a landfill, and natural resources are turned into soil and recycled. That is, if you're using a biodegradable landfills where composting can be done and you're going to get it converted into soil ultimately. So these are the advantages of landfills. Disadvantages is large area is required, land availability away from town. So transportation cost is very high because we cannot put these landfills in between the town. It is always away from the town. So transportation will cost, leads to bad odor, and landfill is not properly managed. So if you do not manage this, then it can lead to bad odor. Landfill areas will be the source of mosquitoes and flies. Required application of insecticides and pesticides are required so that mosquitoes and houseflies will not become a nuisance. And causes of fire hazards due to the formation of methane in the wet weather. Because they are getting decomposed there can be methane which is produced, and this can catch fire, and that is one of the fire hazards which can happen to the landfills. So these are some of the disadvantages of landfills. Next is about incineration. So what are we doing during incineration? The unrecyclable waste goes into the incineration unit where, from here it goes into the combustion unit where excess of air is passed and the temperature is above 850 degrees Celsius. Here it gets completely burnt, and the fly ash or the ash what is there, it goes into the landfills, and metals and materials recovered can be used for recycling in this waste. Okay. Then the hot exhaust gas what is there, it goes into the boiler, and then the exhaust gas will gets cleaned here, and the exhaust gas cleaning is done, and cleaned exhaust gas goes into the chimney. Now here when you're going into the boiler, what happens? The water is getting heated up because of the heat of the exhausted gas, and that steam what is there can be used for rotating the steam turbines to produce electricity. So these are different ways in which the incineration unit is used. So you're taking the waste, dumping it, heating it or undergoing combustion at very high temperature. So hot exhaust gases which are coming, it is used to boil water which is there, converting it into steam so that you can produce electricity. After boiling, still the exhaust gas what is there, it goes into the exhaust gas cleaning unit, goes into the chimneys, and it is left out, and whatever ash or whatever other solid substance which is there, which we got in the exhaust gas cleaning unit, goes into fly ash processing, and then ultimately it goes into the landfills. So this is about the incineration which can be done. Okay. So municipal solid waste, before going to incineration, it has to be dried because these are all wet waste which is there, and the waste is dried in a preheat from where it is taken in a large incinerating furnace called as the destructor. which can incinerate about 100 to 150 tons per hour. So incineration unit can destroy a lot of waste in a very small time. Temperature is, as I told you, it is above 850 degrees Celsius, between 700 and between 1000 degrees Celsius, which the exhaust gas can be used for production of electricity. Next is about the advantages and disadvantages of incineration. Okay. Advantages is the residue is only 20 to 25% of the original waste and can be used in clinker after the treatment. That is, it goes into the landfills. It requires very little space. Cost of transportation is not high if the incineration is located within the city limits. Okay. Safest from the hygienic point of view. From which point of view? Hygienic point of view. An incineration plant of 3000 tons per day capacity can be generating 3 megavolts of power. So it can also be used to produce a lot of power as well. Disadvantages is its capital and operating cost is high. To put this incineration unit, it is a little expensive, needs skilled personnel. So there are people who are required to take care of the incineration unit, and formation of smoke, dust and ashes needs further disposal and may cause air pollution. So these are the disadvantages of incineration. Okay. Next is about the composting. One of the methods which is used for biodegradable waste. So here the biodegradable waste is put in the land with the 1.5 meters thickness, and then it is covered with the soil with 200 centimeter thickness and allowed for decomposition, and all the waste gets ultimately converted into fertilizer, which we call it as vermicompost if we are using earthworms here, and it can be used for plants as for organic farming as well. Okay. So next is about the advantages and disadvantages of composting. The big advantage is you're getting manure, and the manure has lot of water retention and ion exchange capacity of the soil is increased. Also, it can be used even to treat several industrial solid which is biodegradable, and also here you can sell the manure what we have prepared, and it can reduce the cost of disposing waste, and also recycling can be done. Okay, it's easy to recycle. You're converting the biodegradable waste into something very useful, isn't it? Then what are the disadvantages? Non-consumable portion, what is there? It has to be disposed separately. Then the technology is not caught up with the farmers and hence does not have an assured market. So that is the most disadvantage about the composting. So I hope you have understood about the solid waste management technologies which we can use. Thank you, my dear children. Stay tuned for more updates.